Is this thing on? Welcome everyone, I am Kenny. This is Tony.
And this is Jaron. We want chapter 1 to really just be where we came from.
And we, as friends, childhood friends.
This is a childhood friendship
Way
that
back
started in the
elementary
1990s,
school?
basically around third grade, if you're American.
Now, we didn't really have a dream of starting a company probably till we got to walk on our first set, Sphere.
The reason we got to walk on the set of Sphere is my father was a stagehand, worked for the union on movie sets. His name's BJ. And
Shout out.
Shout out to BJ.
Shout out to BJ.
Bill, William, if you want.
our gateway.
Our gateway. And what my dad did was, didn't know at the time, but he was starting this passion in us by getting us to walk on the set of Sphere.
Great movie.
Great. Well, at least a great book. But yes, based on a Michael Crichton book, it was basically an underwater
Drama,
headquarters, right? No, the set we were walking on was this underwater lab.
Mm-hmm.
And no actors on set, just us walking on what was going to be, Samuel L. Jackson, Dustin Hoffman, and other actors were all going to be inhabiting this scene. And we just, what age would you say we were when we walked on that set?
At high school?
I think that was maybe like freshman year of high school around there.
Yeah.
So just imagine a couple bright-eyed young 18-year-olds walking out on the set of their first movie set and thinking, wow, I want to be here someday. I want to actually work on the movies.
And I just grabbed the DVD, so it was a 1998 film.
By the way, that'll come in handy to know that these guys, Kenny and Tony, have huge Blu-ray collections, most of which are unopened. We're going to try to fix that. If I have my way, there's going to be a podcast, Kenny, that's Kenny's Corner of every week. We're going to try to get him to watch and review a movie that he owns that he's never watched before. So look forward to that.
We got a lot of heat on there.
From Hot Tub Time Machine to Logan.
Oh, we
not seen Logan.
Wow. Logan should be number one on the list, in my opinion.
Number one.
But we will get into that in a future episode.
So I would actually say that I think Sphere was kind of the, like you guys said, the gateway. But we grew up as kids watching Star Trek, Star Wars, even though we were born in the 80s, early 80s.
I can say that I can take a little bit of credit of getting our Star Wars obsession launched back in the day when I brought a pack of the Star Wars trading cards, actually card game, into our lives. That went down a whole nother chapter. Maybe there'll be a whole episode about that someday. But basically, I was the kid who said, check out the Star Wars thing, because I think maybe you'll all like the same kind of storytelling and world building that George Lucas did. And like we said, maybe in the intro, George Lucas is a big inspiration for us. Star Trek was a big
sci-fi.
Basic sci-fi in general. You could trace the roots of sci-fi adventure movies and TV shows were what we talked about on the playground and wherever you want to say growing up.
And we ran the range, action, adventure, comedy.
Yeah, so walking on that set of Sphere, I think when we got to actually see the movie, we couldn't believe that was underwater.
Yeah.
This is where Queen Latifah was.
It was basically a big eye-opening moment of, like, they transformed that set into movie magic, basically.
Yeah. As a young child, very impressionable.
Yeah, so it got us
and
thinking,
very impressive.
Maybe we can do this, and maybe we should start making our own original ideas. And that's really, origination will be a big topic that comes up, because we don't want to just really adapt something that's already been written. We kind of want to write our own stories, original characters, big on character and action and mystery, suspense, all the things you can do in a film or TV show. We want to bring some new, unique ideas.
And even before we met, I think we all I know Jaron was an avid book reader, bookworm, so to speak. Yeah. And my brother, big into writing these like sort of sci-fi shorts.
To tie it into Sphere, my favorite author growing up was Michael Crichton. And this was based on a Michael Crichton book. It all kind of started with Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And from there, I just kept thinking, wow, you can really do a lot with sci-fi.
Words on a page.
Seeing that movie was another big moment in the 90s that kind of got me thinking, this could be a career idea.
So fast forward through high school, we finally all went to the same college, Dominican University, and we chose it mainly because graphic art was kind of an up-and-coming thing, like in several schools that we looked at
and
back
when we
in
say
2000.
we do mean we, because I graduated in 1999. These guys graduated in the year 2000 of high school. I took a year, not quite knowing exactly where I wanted to go to college, and just I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to do an actual film school. I knew I kind of wanted to stay local, because you think maybe I can make an impact in Northern California, not too far from Hollywood. We didn't know exactly what that meant or what we'd have to learn in college. So when the time came of the year 2000 and these guys graduated, we were looking at Dominican University and seeing what they had to offer for those kind of interests.
And what was that program they were offering, Tony?
E-Studies?
E-Studies, which was sponsored by
George Lucas.
That was the hook that got us in there.
Yeah, that was a combination of e-business and graphic
design.
art.
E-art,
And
e-business,
so
50-50 was the pitch.
We actually went in, I think that first semester, we actually thought about doing like, we wanted to be special effects artists or something. I think that was one of the major things that
and
we were
the big
really
dramatic
into.
beat in this story is then, of course, the .com bubble burst, and before our first semester was over, they had dissolved that whole program. So we were left thinking, okay, time to scramble and find out what our major is. So we ended up majoring in digital art.
And then we did a focus in business, and you yourself did a focus in music, I believe, right?
Music, yeah.
And paleontology?
Got to get those scholarships.
Yes, we can't forget Jaron did want to be a paleontologist when he grew up.
You can thank Michael Crichton for that too, but did not follow that path.
Jurassic Park.
But like I said, you're never too young to take up a new career. Maybe someday I'll be an old paleontologist.
Yeah, I wanted to be an astronaut, right?
If we really want to set a mission statement for Octorpio and what our company stands for, it's for achieving those dreams that you never really thought possible, and for really firing up that childlike wonder of, I can be anything. I can go out and make something of myself in whatever field it is you want to tackle. And you don't have to be afraid that you're too old to do it or you're too naive in that company. You can just take the step. We're recording a podcast right now, which is a big step for us in getting our message out there. And really, we want to inspire, as we were inspired by both walking on the set of Sphere, about talking about Star Wars and Star Trek, about playing card games that made us think we can make our own card games someday.
Yeah, and inspire to just get out there and do something that you love to do. The time is now, basically, to get out there. I mean, with social media the way it is, and how easy it is to get your thoughts and opinions out there for people to listen to and gravitate towards. I think that's it just feels like a good moment in time and place to start this.
But as you will see through this podcast, as we weren't immune to the effects of falling into the rat race, not pursuing the dream that we had set out to pursue.
We wish we could say we jumped right from college into comfortable careers making film and writing scripts, but the real reality is we stumbled along the way in finding out exactly how we wanted to go about that, and whether we wanted to even take that leap. And here we are. What we really want to do with this is actually take that giant leap into producing our own original content.
Yeah, and so basically when it started off is we started off as in our freshman year, Scorpio Entertainment. The three of us came up with this great concept.
A little more generic.
Thought it was very novel, but at the time we thought it was very novel. And
early 2000s.
And so Scorpio Entertainment, we in our classes we started creating intro animations,
business cards,
websites.
So you could tell in our college years we did have that initial spark that we could go into business together, but also kind of make it a passion project of this is what the kind of content we want to make, not just making someone else's commercials or someone else's boring content. We wanted to make impactful stuff. Even in a kind of our senior thesis, by the end, we wanted to produce actual guerrilla style films on campus, which we actually did.
Yep. And it's funny, I know it's like a big knock against like going to college right now, but I feel like it almost pointed us in the direction of learning about what we wanted to do and utilizing our skills and meeting the people that we...
Maybe junior college if you don't want to spend that much money.
Yeah, junior college. I mean, I guess if you had the idea for it, but I mean, it gives a little bit of guidance, if you will, as far as
I always want to say, don't follow us as a step-by-step of how to how to get into it. Everyone's going to have their own way. Not everyone will even have a friendship that lasts 20 years between a couple of brothers and a big tall guy
I mean,
who's a brother in spirit.
yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, today you could film anything on the phones, have better cameras than we had available to us back in the day. But
that's why we're starting now, is you can be a self-starter because of the technology and the social media, the platforms, the ability to build a brand just with your own ideas and your creative outlets is just endless right now. So
because what college did for us is give us the access to cameras.
And there was no YouTube back in college.
There was no YouTube.
One day you may see a special feature of our original film that we record on campus, but today is not that day.
Yeah.
So look forward to that in the future if you want a good laugh at where our real humble beginnings were.
So I think as we got through freshman year, And after the program got disbanded, we started thinking, how can we still do what we wanted to do? And there was a camera course that came along, and we jumped at the opportunity to get in there.
Keep in mind, we did not have any actual film school type classes. We were mostly, the curriculum that we were assigned was a lot of art history, a lot of actual in the art studio,
painting,
grinding,
oil sticks.
And then there was the Mac lab.
Grinding.
The Mac lab was where we really let our kind of moment. We can thank Peter, our
Peter Mincer.
He was definitely an influence to say, you know, guys, I kind of like what you guys are thinking about creating, and gave us that spark that, or gave us that inspiration to go in a direction that wasn't maybe the cookie cutter, wasn't on the curriculum.
What we did was, the class was kind of an interpretive video class, and we actually came up with a short called Concealed. And it was about 3 people.
A little backstory about me is I love writing because growing up I did read those thick novels. I maybe in my college years
too thick
kind of got away from that, but I really started putting my ideas on paper and thought, I maybe I have some talent for writing, and I didn't exactly know. I hadn't submitted anything, but all I do remember is getting a pretty high score on my SAT 2s for writing. So I was like, okay, that's enough to give me some confidence that I can write. For Concealed, we didn't write an actual full script, though. No. We just kind of put together some outlines and ideas. Yeah, so 3 different, very abstract ideas of a character, not given any names, but we wanted to basically, with no dialogue, the entire Concealed was just all a soundtrack that I had found by a little known band called Evanescence.
That was what was their origin?
Jay put Evanescence on the map.
Demo track of Evanescence before they
became big. Keep in mind, this
is
the early 2000s, so I was searching LimeWire and Kazaa for whatever I could find.
Legally.
Fair share.
Totally legally. But finding demo track of unreleased music from this band, I was so excited about, because I said, I don't think there's been any movies with this kind of soundtrack before. A little side note.
It was some good stuff. The song was
Haunted,
I believe.
If you look it up, it's
not the new version.
Definitely not the version that was the album version. But you can find, if you search through YouTube and long enough, you can find the original demo track, and that really informed us for what we wanted to kind of have as the theme.
And the cool thing about starting out, I think you don't need to have all the best gear. We did have some cameras at our disposal, but when we were doing track shots, we literally took a chair and slid it across a carpet to get a nice smooth shot. I can't remember when we were actually filming. Did we actually listen to the Evanescence tracks while we were filming live, or were we just quiet?
I think we did, because we didn't really overlay music on top of that. We didn't bring it in, import it, and then overlay music in post. I think we had the music playing while we were sliding the chair. No,
we definitely waited till the last minute. We pulled an all-nighter to get our final complete on time, which was the complete Concealed movie, which took shape and had to be edited, completed filming, all in the span of one night.
I think I edited it, right?
And like I said, we used this Evanescence track to really guide the whole editing process, the whole piece.
And I think one of the cool things too about, working with what you have is we try to do some like overhead shots too, and literally it was like standing on a chair over somebody, kind of guiding the camera along a track just with your own hands. And because it was dark, the scene was dark, we were able to use a tripod to simulate like a rifle, and it looked pretty cool. And
the first time we used a prop that wasn't exactly what it was meant for, as kind of an action, a cool little stand-in for a weapon,
like a futuristic
sniper rifle. I guess you could. This is the first creation that we made as Scorpio Entertainment.
I think Concealed is actually a big showcase of how we could actually, all 3 of us, work together.
It was a testament to our creative abilities as a group, coming together and bringing in different ideas and different skills, and getting us all onto a set actually kind of created some magic. Like I was saying, there was a spark of creativity that happened when we were making that literally last minute final project, that all felt natural and felt like we each had moments where we were able to shine in that production.
Yeah, I don't think we had any like real squabbles or any things that got in the way of production. Just kind of, I think every new idea was a cool like idea to work through.
Maybe as an aside, we are kind of laid back guys. You're not going to hear too many outbursts or argument.
Jaron,
if you're looking for a lot of conflict or drama in your podcast, we're not your guys. Yes. Maybe someday down the line when we have deadlines and shoots, you might hear a little aggression come out, but for the most part, we're pretty laid back California dudes.
Yeah, but there may be some really cool stuff. You'll get to see some of the adversity that we face and how we overcome it, because I think that's something that in the past we weren't really great at doing, and I think we've grown and matured enough to handle a lot of these situations.
In other episodes, you'll find that we have been tested as far as our patience goes with the setbacks and the delays
The lost decade.
You'll see,
Plug.
you'll hear about the lost decade, believe me. But basically, it was in that moment of creating Concealed that we knew we had something.
Yeah, that was our junior year. And so now going into a senior year, so in the fall, I think one of the things we actually had an idea of making a feature, like a full feature film, and we're like, guys, we can do this. Like we did Concealed. We were kind of awe-inspired by what we were able to create as well. I think we didn't realize it would turn out so well ourselves.
Yeah, and just one thing to mention is Dominican didn't have a film program. We took the film class that they had, which was like a mini short type class, make your own shorts, and we went to the instructor and said we would like to use this, and instead of doing individual projects, join forces as a trio and create something a little more thematic, more story to it, a little.
And to their credit, they accommodated us by giving us credits for even independent study based around this idea of creating maybe a trailer for one semester.
Yeah, the trailer, which you kind of had alluded to earlier, we wanted to make this full movie, but as we kind of went through the process, I think we wrote the script out, we kind of storyboarded a little bit. It was just the three of us
This time
still.
we were thinking, okay, take the Concealed idea and make a full feature.
Yeah,
that actually resembles a real movie or a student film at least.
Yeah, we definitely wanted to level up from what we had just experienced.
I think we actually started filming and we started telling ourselves we can't put together a full feature film, so we said let's just make a trailer.
And then we were able to parlay that into sort of a finished full-length project using the next semester as sort of like
which we hadn't really thought about
at the time.
yet at the time. And the cool thing about it was called Desperate Hour. Very original as well.
And we all acted in it.
And our friends who I guess were mostly consisted of our
close friends and
acquaintances, and we were part of a semi-fraternity, not a full fraternity because they didn't allow such on campus at Dominican, but the closest thing you could have to a group of guys that really
support
just wanted to support each other's ventures and creative endeavors. And we did have a lot of support from our friends to go out and make this because that had really never been done on campus before. Best quick elevator pitch I can give is it's about a man who is in over his head, maybe committing some acts he's not proud of, but trying to use the help of whoever he can to turn the tables on what he realizes is an evil organization that he works for. Would you say that's pretty fair?
That's a pretty accurate pitch, man. I gotta watch the movie again. Quick note: Kenny was the stunt double because I don't think he had planned to be in the movie, but there was an onset injury and I could not turn my neck left. So in order to do running scenes,
I was a cinematographer.
This is a good example of things can go wrong.
So enter the final semester of our college careers. Well, our undergrad college careers, and we picked up a fourth member who was very instrumental in helping us get the movie complete as well, and we just came together to do this. And so
we're actually went to the lengths of printing out flyers for our big premiere, having them posted around.
Yeah, we created posters, marketing swag.
We went full on
secured a room location to distribute the movie.
Yes,
I think actually before we went the whole movie poster route and getting the whole premiere set up, we kind of needed to believe that we could actually create this whole film. And so we had this strict film shooting schedule. We shot nights.
Yeah, it started off word of mouth, but I'd say by about a week into it, everybody knew what we were doing.
There were probably moments where we were filming even not on campus, in public areas, because we didn't want it to just seem like a student film. We wanted to actually have the aura of this is a real production.
Yeah, you're talking about three guys who didn't really like to go outside their comfort zones. For us to think kind of outside the box like that and like leave campus to go shoot, that was big. And I think it
was a defining moment in realizing that we
just kind of
had
go
the
for
ability
it,
to make to more than just talk about something. We could actually do it.
Yeah, just kind of. And I didn't really ever think about it, but it was like just overcoming that fear. But I think as a unit, as a trio, we were able to sort of say like, hey, let's go big, go big, go home. I guess
And in retrospect, I wouldn't say it was our most well-rounded film idea, because since then we've had some other concepts that we still want to make. But I'd say that was a great way to get our ideas on film and actually see what it would be like to actually go through the paces of a production. And to our credit, we managed to get a full film and a actual red carpet.
Then we started believing in ourselves, and we just decided, let's do a photo shoot for some posters. Let's get some flyers out there. Let's
set a premiere night. That was a pretty big moment that we were going to get the
huge
support
moment.
of our peers to premiere the movie on campus, and we had an actual pretty big crowd
You want to talk about a fear of being judged.
You know, I do remember the butterflies.
Like, why did I
the butterflies hitting right the moment before we hit play, because this was kind of our baby at that point.
Yeah,
we had really only ourselves to build our confidence about, is this really something that can fly as an entertaining thing to watch? We definitely hadn't yet shown our ideas to the public in a way like this. So this was really our stepping out into the limelight for the first time.
Yeah, I'm thinking, why did I sign up to be the main character? I don't even like to be
and Tony's,
in front of class.
Another little funny story about that. Tony, in the first scene, filmed in his green puffy jacket. And because he filmed in that
and long hair,
he had to end up sticking with that the entire production, whether it made sense for the character or not. So there were little funny things like that. If you go back and watch, you know, we had to roll with the punches a bit with production woes, and we maybe even had to cut some fight scenes we wanted to plan out because, you know, of the restraints of our cast.
And another quick tip, never have a grow your hair out bet going with a few of your friends and then somebody gets a haircut because the consistency.
A lot of continuity is just
now
gone out the
this
window.
Is also the moment
long hair, short hair, long hair, short hair.
The other cool thing about this movie is it gave me the confidence of, I was the one who selected all the musical tracks for the movie, and getting to do that, I think I picked a lot of Juno Reactor, a lot of
we created an album.
The tracks we used actually made a cool little seamless transition. If you watch it now, I think you'd still probably find a little appreciation for finding some good music tracks to set the mood for it. If the action, I wouldn't say it's the most action packed film, because, you know, we were doing what we could on a shoestring budget. We didn't have any special effects really planned for it, but we did have a lot of passion for the project, and I think that comes through even in viewing it now as just kind of a student film. You can still see the love that went into it, and getting feedback on that, even where people were saying a little critical, I still took all of it as constructive criticism, and that's what I still do to this day. Is any response you can learn from, as long as it's constructive.
Yeah, and you know, I think we had an opportunity to get a huge audience to come out and check it out. And I know that if you're just kind of doing it now, you could just put it on YouTube and see who's going to check it out there. But we were able to at least get like a controlled group of 50 plus students and staff.
There will be those butterflies that you have for actually putting your creative ideas out there to the world. But I think it is really the most rewarding thing you can do in this field, is getting to be there for that, and those initial reactions of the crowd, or that moment where you're showing off your work for the first time.
That's just a huge confidence booster.
So this was pretty much the beginning of Scorpio Entertainment. We were on cloud nine. The movie premiere was a success, and you know, we went into college not even really knowing that we would end up here, but we had that dream of starting a movie production company.
And by the end of the premiere, I think I remember the question being, when's your next movie coming out then? Because immediately people want to know.
You sort of go in there with an idea, you have nothing, and it seems daunting, but if you just break it down, you start writing that script, you start getting your idea out. From that, your script turns into getting cameras and setting film schedules, and then that turns into getting music for things that we've shot to make sure it looks good, and editing, and then after that, you want to make the marketing swag, so you set up a photo shoot. You know, it just kind of builds until you get to this place where you're like, wow, we did all this stuff.
If you had asked that kid who walked on the set of Sphere that by college time you would be making your own, I probably wouldn't have believed you, but I would have been thrilled to have the opportunity. So I'd say, if you ever get the opportunity, no matter what schooling level you're at, to create your own original content, I really recommend you do it, because
break it down.
It really does break you out of your shell too, in a way. We had the benefit of working as a group, but even if you're doing it as a solo act, I think right now is the time to get your ideas out there.
You just don't know until you try.
And so you think we would take all of our hard-learned lessons and
parlay that into a career?
We wish we could say happily ever after, and that we already have a big IMDb under our belts, but you will not find us yet under that.
So keep in mind, this is 2004, and we thought we were on the way to big things. And
cliffhanger time.
But obviously, things change. Thanks for listening, guys. This is Kenny.
This is Tony.
This is Jaron. Thanking you very much for joining us.
Yes.
Signing off on the first episode